Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you guys have had an amazing weekend. We certainly did. As some of you may have seen, we ended up building our kids the cubby house, which took us nearly the whole day on Saturday. And it's been beautiful weather in Melbourne, meaning we got to use our pool for the first time as well yesterday. So good morning to all of you who are joining in. If you don't know what call you've come on at, because I actually didn't even announce yesterday that I was going to do UBS Live this morning. Monday mornings at 9 a.m. we normally get together for half an hour. And this started because of my big group, Ultimate Business Support. And we used to run these coffee chats there. And obviously I moved it to my personal profile so I can then share it across to the different groups. So that's what I'm going to do right now, because we're only about 3 minutes from 9 o'clock, and that's when the official start of the Monday morning coffee chats begins. Good morning, Emma. Nice to see you. So let me just go on my computer. I'm just going to share this across a couple of different groups, and then we can officially start our discussions. I highly encourage you guys to write comments even if you're watching this in a recording, post questions, and of course I'll come back and reply to those. So let me just share this into my two groups, because the best outcome is to do this obviously on my personal profile and then get it also broadcast at the very same time into the other groups as well. So I'm going into Ultimate Business Support, and then into the Author Your Way to Riches. And thank you for the love hearts, whoever's sending those. All right, let me share one more time into a different group, and then we can get started, you guys. All right. I was 5 minutes ago, I was going, am I going to do it this morning? Am I not? Because what's happening is I have 2 jam-packed days. Today morning through to night, conversations about the upcoming Dubai trip and launching the business there on Wednesday, literally. And I've got a couple of author preps, as well as tomorrow we're hosting a half-day workshop over in Geelong. So I've got to pack and get ready for that, and literally got to get up at 5:30 a.m. to get across there tomorrow, and then get up at 3 a.m. to catch my flight to Dubai on Wednesday. So I was just sitting here and I go, I could use this half an hour to do something different, but then it didn't feel right, because it's Monday morning, and 9 a.m. Monday morning we always hang out for half an hour and do our UBS Live. So I thought today I would talk. Good morning, Kitty. I want to discuss, I don't have any notes, I didn't even prepare notes, this is it, but I can talk about this topic quite easily. And so this morning I thought I'd talk about collaborations and joint ventures, because it's obviously fresh in my head from having come off the national tour recently with Francesca, who we've been collaborating for over 2 years. Good morning, Michelle and Kylie. Sorry guys if I don't acknowledge everybody. I'm going to try to cram in as much content as possible before I have to get this day fully started. And so obviously with the upcoming trip in Dubai, of course I've got a partnership set up there with Mustafa, and we've been going through the motions of what needs to happen to make this trip from Edinburgh. Is that where you made it to? I've loved following your adventures, Michelle. Having the joint venture and the partnership and collaborations over the last 7.5 years, I think I've learned a thing or two, and I have been burnt a lot more times than I have been successful at creating amazing collaborations. So I'll talk a little bit about what are the things to look out for, and what not to do, and then, of course, what does an awesome collaboration look like, and what should you expect, and how you can set them up? Because really, just like there are different business models on how to successfully run your business, you should know that there's also various models on how you can set up a joint venture or a collaboration. So there are models where money does not have to exchange hands, and then there's obviously a profit share type of model. So it just always, obviously at the end of the day, a collaboration and a joint venture has to be a win-win. So we've got people online from all parts of the world. Lorraine's over in California, and yeah, and then we've got Europe. So all of you this time must be ideal for all sides of the world, because I think it's really late in the evening in Europe, and it's really afternoon, I think, early afternoon in the US. Okay, so let's talk about what not to do and what can happen. So sometimes when we're early on in business, we're so excited and we're so keen to make things work, and we want to get ahead as quickly as possible to make our business financially viable, which can make us overexcitable, which means that those opportunities for collaborations and partnerships that come in front of us, we can jump on board very, very quickly, and not actually test out what the person is like, what are their values, what are their goals, what is their work ethic. And often, I'm just going to turn this off in the background, I can see myself talking on the computer screen. And often what happens is, we get to find out really who they are as we start working with them, which may not be of a positive nature, right? Often what I found myself in the early days is, say, my very first collaborations were to do like events with another person. So I thought, the hardest thing, in running events is getting bums on seats, right? So I thought, having a partner to do the event with, we both work in terms of filling the room and logistics and things like that. The work is halved, and therefore we get exposure to the double amount of people. But what used to happen is that pretty much 90-95% of the people that would come to that event would be the people that I would hustle to get into the room and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of the time I was stuck doing a lot of the logistics and bits and pieces, because that's just my nature. I want to make sure everything runs smoothly and it's professional, and we don't have any, sort of forward thinking of any, plan, like things that may go wrong. And so what I realized is, of course, I was a bit disheartened, because I got onto this, in these joint ventures and collaborations, because I thought it was going to make my life half as hard, because it was really hard in the beginning. And so I realized, the person who does most of the work is generally also going to win most of the rewards. I think the universe kind of looks after us in that way, in a way that if we have done most of the work and we have carried that whole team, across the line, then we are going to get rewarded. So what ended up happening is, in those particular events, I was the one that was picking up the most business and the most, also because I had got the people in the rooms, which meant they had most trust and intimacy and know and like with me over, thank you Kitty for all the love hearts, and therefore they continued on to work with me. So in that regard, I have never, anytime I've gone into a joint venture, as long as I know that I am completing my end of the bargain, and that I'm perhaps even doing extra and bonus, then I'll be okay, that I'll be looked after in some way. A lot of the time in this world, things may not seem to be fair, but if you do the work, you will be rewarded accordingly. So then, as time got on, I invested a lot of time in some collaborations that promised a huge outcome after a certain period of time. And there was one particular one, it was like over 2 years, and I think I invested hundreds of hours, you guys, hundreds of hours, and even a few $1,000 investment in terms of, gaining a part share in this particular company. And as I was having baby number 3, I realized that after 2.5 years of helping this person out with the foresight of what was going to, be highly profitable, I actually decided that I had had enough, and sometimes you just gotta, they say, you cut your losses. It was very disheartening about how much time I had invested and the money also. But I was just willing to let it go, because it just wasn't my thing. In the end of the day, I went into this thinking I can make it work. And again, being excited at the prospect of the opportunity of working with someone that at the time I really thought highly of, and then it just didn't work out. So that's fine. So that was one where there was a misalignment of goals. I had certain goals and vision for what I thought it was going to be, and they had certain goals and vision of what they thought it was going to be, and there was that misalignment. So the lessons that I have learned from the failed joint ventures and collaborations are: take your time. Don't jump into it so quickly, because your people's true colors will come to the forefront once you've spent a little bit of time getting to know them and observing them. And you know, the reality also is that all of us have to go through our fair share of crappy collaborations and crappy joint ventures to get to the ones that are like just the absolute boom, right? So my very first successful joint venture / collaboration was with Francesca, whom we met 2.5 years ago, and for a little while we spent time getting to know each other, and obviously she worked with me as a client. And I had never met someone who hustled as hard to get bums on seats, which is obviously the core of what her business is about. And so with that particular collaboration, it's now, you know, been flourishing for over 2 years. We do joint venture masterclasses now 4 times a year. We've traveled together. We're cross-introducing ourselves, us to each of our tribes, which has eventuated into $250,000 per year joint venture, if you like, or revenue into my business, and vice versa into Francesca's. And with this latest collaboration with Mustafa in Dubai, you know, I really can see, like, even we spent a little bit of time, probably about 4 to 5, 6 months, just getting to know each other online. I was reporting back to him how the US tour went. You know, I've been sort of staying in touch before we decided that we were going to launch Dubai together, as in a way it's a partnership. And so that, you know, him doing work from his end, because we're not even in each other's countries. We're so far away, and such big difference, 7 hours difference in the time zones. And we've still been keeping the lines of communication clear and fulfilling so far our ends of what the partnership stands for. And of course, the real outcome will be obviously known after the end of this week, which is super exciting. You know, my turn comes into play where I need to go and speak and present, and of course, you know, entice people and get them to, you know, join the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Tribe, so that we can deliver and help them write their books and bring them into reality. So joint ventures and collaborations can definitely skyrocket our business to new levels of success, and of course further profits and helping more people and reaching out on a global scale. But the key, let me give you, like, I guess, a top 3, because the brain loves 3s. You know, give you some top 3 tips. So take your time. Number 1 tip is take your time. Actually get to know the person as a person. Even follow them on social media. See what they do. See how they communicate. Stay in touch. You know, give them a little test. That little test could be, you know, send them something they would need to do, or how quick are they at responding and getting communication back to you. Because one of the real deal breakers for me is when someone doesn't respond to me within the day or within the next day. If I have to wait for someone 3 or 4 days or a week to get a response or an action completed, that's totally against my values, because my top value is doing things fast. So therefore, you know, those kind of things, if they don't gel well, then it starts to really niggle and frustrate me, and I just won't dare. So take your time. Number 2 is discuss your values and your goals. So when I start a collaboration, especially the one with Francesca and Mustafa, the first 3 things, like literally in the first, you know, half an hour of speaking to them, I said, these are my 4 values. My 4 values are fun, fast, fame, and family. Okay, so I want things to happen super fast. I want it to be fun along the way. I want this in some way to further build my brand and visibility and exposure, if you like. And family, I do want to feel like, you know, we've got each other's back. and that, you know, we are going to have even a relationship beyond, you know, just this, you know, business arrangement, which is exactly how it feels like with Francesca, and definitely, you know, we're progressing that way with Mustafa, and obviously going over there and being looked after by him will further develop that kind of relationship. So those are my 4 values. Yes, Emma. The fun, fast, fame, and family. So I said, this is what I like, how I like to experience life, and how I like to deliver my service when I'm with other people. So there's no difference. This is how I want to be around my household, in my home, with my kids. We want to do things very fast. We want to be having fun, and you know, obviously having that family feel. But similar, when I'm delivering my service to my clients, I want them to feel those 4 things from me, and therefore my joint venture partners and collaborators must have that somewhere in their value set and be able to respond to that, because that's where I will also stay the happiest and most responsive as well. So number 1 was take your time getting to know them. Number 2 was discuss values, and the second one in the number 2 was goals. So what are your goals? What are their goals? Like, what do they want to get out of the joint venture? Are you guys going to help each other further grow, like, you know, introduce each other to each other's networks, or is it about a certain profit or outcome at the end? I need to come to Scotland. Yes, the world is just, it is my oyster now. I can pick and choose where I go. I just, I need to be mindful, of course, obviously not to look after my health and all that. Do you guys know that last Monday when had my chiropractic adjustment, with my Cara that I've been going to see for many, many years, she said, Natasha, you are now operating at an athlete status. So the level of energy and travel and speaking and being with people, she goes, you're pretty much an athlete. Like, you know, you may not be doing some professional sport, but that's the amount of energy. So she's put me on this magnesium supplement thing, drinky things, so I would be able to say traveling long haul, like a couple of times, 2-3 times a year is probably enough. So I need to pick and choose my countries as I go along each and every year, and also make sure I look after myself, because if you guys want more of me, I need to make sure that I'm healthy and strong, and put myself first as well. So the last 3 days, all I've been doing is just chilling out with the family to crank up, you know, get my energy levels so I can do what I need to do these next 7 days. Yeah, magnesium is good. All right, so the goals part of it is, you know, what's the ultimate goal out of the joint venture? What is the ultimate goal out of this collaboration? Is it to increase each other's, yeah, the athlete. I am the athlete. I did my exercise this morning. I'm all good. Is it to increase each other's databases? Is it to make a certain, is there a revenue goal? And is this a short-term collaboration, or is this in a view of a longer-term collaboration? So Mustafa and I set up an agreement that we will make this partnership or collaboration a 2-year thing, because he's also aware, which is really good as well, if you have a collaborative partner, to actually for them to understand that to make something profitable and super successful, you will need to invest some time. So maybe this initial trip, this first trip in Dubai, may not be as massive, although it seems like it will be, as it can be, you know, the second and third time once we've built up some awareness and exposure in that particular area, right? So it's really good, you know, so that's why we sort of said, look, let's work together for a couple of years and see how this unfolds over a period of time. Yes, every athlete needs a coach, and I definitely have lots of those, and obviously my PT and all that, you know, all these people around me that also help us to be most effective and productive. You know, it's super important. Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. Okay, so let's revise. Number 1, a point was take time to get to know them as a person. What are they like? What, you know, how do they turn up in life, right? And social media is great for that. Number 2 is establish each other's values and work out the goals ultimately. And number 3 is keep lines of communication open and regular. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, you need to be constantly, like, you know, depending on when what kind of a collaboration is. So with this Dubai trip, we have been really in heavy communication the last 3 to 4 weeks since we started advertising and filling the rooms, and I've been given updates every time how many people have registered. We're going back and forward. We had 2 or 3 phone calls last week. We're meeting tonight at 9 p.m. to discuss final bits and pieces, because there's obviously a lot of coordination that goes, and particularly for this particular trip and events, we are going to have a lot of other people, like crew on board, because there's going to be 275 people registered for Dubai, and Abu Dhabi's been started to be promoted, so we're going to do 2 events, Saturday and Sunday over there. So there's quite a lot of things that Mustafa is doing there on the ground, but also I want to be kept in check, because this is going to be a little bit different for me, whereas I'm in control of all the registrations, all of the lists, all of the crew, all of the other bits and pieces that I do here in Melbourne and around Australia. Now I'm sort of giving that to my partner in this particular collaboration, which is going to he's doing the front end work, of course, and I will have to be delivering, of course, the back end work, and that's where it works, and that's where obviously the value is in sharing you know, profits in the end of the day. So that's what's you know, those are the 3 most important things. Communication is key. If something is misunderstood, don't you know, straight away freak out. Sometimes people who write you know, written communication sometimes can be heard in a different tone in our heads, so just ensure that you are you know, talking both written and get on the phone, get on Skype, see each other and communicate that way as well. It's really, really important. So you know, not initially, so if you're new in business, start small. You don't have to go super massive. I mean, I don't think you get given the opportunities to do certain collaborations or partnership until you're ready. So sometimes people freak out that they oh, what if I get a client that I'm sort of feeling out of my depth, you know, that I'm not ready, or I don't feel good enough to work with them or whatever, or what if I get a collaborative partner and I just feel that you never, one thing I know in business is you never get the opportunities, and you never get the clients, you never get them collaborations that you're not ready for. Okay, so I think along this journey of 7.5 years, I have been given the things that I needed to get at each point and at each step of the way to learn and to explore, expand, and then evolve to the next level and to the next opportunity. And when you're ready, so for example, like what I mentioned just before, having 275 people registered in Dubai this Saturday, I mean, I have got that last week. I think I showed you my vision board, you guys. But down here on my vision board, let me just flick the camera. This internet. Down here on this vision board, you can see this big, massive audience. One of my visions has been to speak in front of hundreds and, of course, thousands of people. And I have all smiling faces in the audience and all that sort of stuff. I think the most people I've ever spoken to is about 170. Now, if I hadn't done the last 7.5 years over, I would say I've done over 450 speaking gigs / presentations / my own events / trainings, you know, sort of combined it all together, and didn't feel confident within myself, and I could just stand up and just not have any nerves. Of course, I'll probably be like a little bit, you know, where am I, you know, how's it gonna feel? My half-day event's never been delivered in front of this many people. I think the biggest room we've ever had is 45, right? And we do multiples of that, sort of between 30 and 45. So how am I gonna manage that? But after doing 450 events, I'll figure it out, because now I have earned the right to be on that stage. I have earned the right to be in front of those people, and therefore I have confidence enough that no matter what turns up, I will be able to deal with it, you know. And so that's why I always want you to know that we get given, we meet certain people, we get to collaborate with certain people, we get to be given certain opportunities when we have done the work And when when we have turned up and we have served people, and then, you know, it's almost like, well, you're vibrating at a different level. Therefore, you're attracting different people at a different level. You will be amazing as always in Divine Night. Yes, I know. I'm so excited. I was just like almost like I'm here, but I'm like almost already going there. Do I have a mindset coach? Not anymore. Not anymore, Emma. I don't have a mindset coach. Let me just. I had sort of a generic coaches, or if you like more generalist type of life coaches on working with me in the first 3 years of my business. Nowadays, the way I hire my mentors and coaches is depending on what problem I need to solve. So I kind of now get niched mentors and coaches because I know I have a toolbox of mindset strategies. I have got I know what I need to do when my mindset starts to fail me. You know, I need to tap into reading more. I need to listen or meditate more. I need to get on YouTube and you know, I just kind of can catch myself. And at a certain point in time, obviously, we don't need, you know, if I really needed someone, if I was really struggling and feeling down about myself, immediately I would hire someone and I would pay whatever it takes to get myself out of mental funk, if you like. So no, I don't have someone on you know, on a permanent basis. Often the first person I'll go and have a bit of a whinge to and just talk about my mindset would be probably my husband, and he's a really, really good listener, and he can sort of give me a few little pointers, you know, where I might not be thinking of, and that you know, that could be sort of putting a block in me. But yeah, I nowadays hire people for a certain problem that I need solved, and then I you know, and then I keep going myself. I think after a certain period of time we can once we've done enough work on ourselves, and once we have the ability to start catching ourselves when we're going down a certain path that's perhaps not so resourceful, we're able to, you know, handle it ourselves. And ultimately, you know, me being a coach myself, when I've been doing that for the last 7.5 years, and I still deal with people's mindsets along this whole way. You know, I ultimately want all of my clients to be able to do it for themselves. I don't want them working with me forever. I want them to go free and just to, you know, feel like they're in control and independent, and that they've got every resource within themselves to solve whatever problem is in front of them. Glad that was helpful, Emma. So yeah, so this is obviously now the conversation has diverted to mindset and strategy, but I'm really excited. The suitcase is already packed. I've waited. I wanted to leave a spare 5 or 6 kilos for shopping because I'll be going off to Macedonia after that. So, you know, the last thing I'm going to tell you that I'm planning, well, I've contacted 3 Macedonian TV channels yesterday. Because my auntie said, yeah, you should probably, you know, they might be interested in your story and to do an interview on one of their programs. So I just went on the internet and I found their websites and their contact information. I wrote in Macedonian like this whole, hey Rita, this whole, it's a half a page, if you like, press release, whatever it is, and I just sent it across, and I said I'm going to be there for like 13 days. If you guys are interested in doing something, then let me know. It does, you know, if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. But if someone picks it up, you know, I might be doing something over in Macedonia as well. So I've kind of tentatively kind of said, oh, maybe I'll do an event there on the 28th of October, just before I come home. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I haven't even thought about what I would even do and what, you know, but I'm kind of sort of just putting it out there, see if I can get something done, because I will be there anyway. Most of the time, actually, I'm doing the Macedonia trip after Dubai just to chill out, and I'm going to fix my teeth. Well, you guys can't see this on live, but my 2 front teeth are slightly different color. So I'm going to fix that up over there, and that'll make for a productive trip, because it is very, very affordable to do that kind of work over there. So that's me, you guys. I'm going to go make myself a coffee because I've got the gorgeous Maria to prep at 10 o'clock this morning. And then Rita, who just joined just before, I'm prepping you at 1 o'clock. That's Melbourne time. Please don't get the time wrong. But I'll be talking to you guys all morning and prepping you for your upcoming retreat. Stuart discovered our venue for the November retreat, which is super, super exciting. We'll be announcing that at some stage, I think today, all the gorgeous photos. So it's all happening, you guys. I can't wait. Lorraine says the power of intent, good vibes, stretching the horizon, fly high, the sky's the limit. Yeah, I believe. And hair is all done, nails are all done. See, I'm all ready. I'm all prepared. Outfits are picked out. I literally packed the exact amount of outfits because I have to take some product as well, you know, for my display table. But I'm super excited. So I will be next Monday. I will be on the flight from Dubai to Macedonia because I'm staying in Dubai from Wednesday through to Monday morning. But I think when it's, I'm just trying to think. Look, I'll jump on a live, but it won't be the Monday morning 9 a.m. and I'll do a little bit of a teaching in terms of how all of that turned out and maybe some lessons as to what I think works, doesn't work in super huge rooms and let you guys how many people were there, and I'm sure you're going to be following some of the lives throughout this week. Which will be coming to you guys through, I mean, I'll be posting it as I travel and go along and share some of the experience with you. So have an awesome week ahead. Have an awesome week ahead. Smash it out, as I say, and go out there and do what you love doing best and help people. Bye, guys. See ya.